Your command today is to follow Jesus. Jesus wants you to follow him, and Jesus wants you to be a disciple maker. Jesus wants you to follow him and be a fisher of people, to go and catch people, to be a fisher of men. So let's look at Jesus calling the very first disciples, the first four disciples. And we need to remember as we read this, this is not merely a description of how Jesus called the first four disciples. This is to be a model for all Christians to follow after Jesus in the same way. Now, there's no doubt, particularly Peter and John, there's no doubt that Andrew and Peter and James and John did far greater things than we will ever do as apostles of Jesus Christ. But the great question for us, and James, of course, being one of the first martyrs for the Lord. But we need to remember that Jesus is calling us to be a disciple, just as he called these first four disciples. Also, it's probably worth noting is that Peter and Andrew, James and John knew Jesus before this incident. So it's kind of odd for us to be thinking, well, Jesus just walked up to these guys and said, "Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men," and they dropped everything and followed him. That's not exactly how it went, because they had a relationship with him before this, and we see that relationship beginning in the book of John, in the Gospel of John. We know that Andrew and John were both disciples of John the Baptist. John the Baptist introduces them to Jesus. So this has happened after their relationship has already been established. And this is when Jesus says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." This is where he formally calls them into the ministry. So while walking by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. So they were fisher guys. And he said to them, "Follow me. I will make you fishers of men." Now, notice there's the command, "Follow me." Remember, this is not just a description of what Jesus did to Peter and Andrew. This is also a call to every Christian, and actually every person. Follow me. Be a Christian. Be a disciple. Go where I go. And then there's a promise attached to it. I will make you fishers of men. I will make you capable of being a disciple maker, capable of inviting people to Jesus Christ and seeing God transform the people around you and transform your own life. And then verse 20 says, "Immediately they left their nets and followed him. And going on from there, he saw two brothers, James the son of Zebedee and John his brother, in the boat with Zebedee their father, mending their nets. And he called them." So he doesn't just call Andrew and Peter, he calls John and James. And immediately, what do? They left the boat and their father and followed him. Will you follow after Jesus? And will you become a disciple maker yourself? Will you become a fisher of men? Will you go out and invite people to church? Will you go out and hand out little gospel booklets and books that are about Jesus and pointing people to Jesus? Will you share on social media and text people and say, "Come to church, come meet Jesus"? Maybe you don't. Maybe you're. I feel like every Christian should be able to be in a state where they can share the gospel and explain it to somebody that they are comfortable with. But there are many ways that you can be a part of fishing for fishing for people. Now, what I want to do is show you the journal portion. Remember, I've introduced a new element in our reading videos, and this is a segment, or this is a small little way that you can journal, and journal in a way that you'll actually be able to keep up with it. Some people just journal a whole bunch, but this is a way for you to be able to make small little notes in recording what God has showed you. You're going to find a scriptural insight, then you're going to respond in prayer, and then you're going to apply it to your life. So let me show you how I did this with this passage. Scriptural insight is that Jesus wants people to follow him and be a disciple. He wants all people to do that. Just like he called Andrew and Peter and said, "Follow me and I'll make you fishers of men," he's extending that to you and to all people. So God wants people to follow him, and he wants them to be a disciple. Well, that's my scriptural insight. My prayer in response to that is, Lord, help me to be a disciple maker. We know Peter and Andrew went on to be disciple makers. They went and became fishers of men. And so my prayer to the Lord is, Lord, help me to be a fisher of people. And a preacher has to pray that every single day, just as well as you have to. Lord, help me to be a disciple maker, to not just catch the fish, but to make them strong and to encourage you and to equip our church. And then the application is this. Here's an application that you could have, that we could have. I will follow Jesus. And this would be obeying the command there, follow me. I will follow Jesus and believe that he will use me to be a disciple and a disciple maker, which would be a fisher of men. I believe that God can make me a disciple, that I can follow after him, and that he can use me to fish for people. He can use me to actually contribute to making another disciple. So here's where you really put where the rubber meets the road, if you will. I will pray today for God to make me equipped to disciple someone else. Perhaps you feel inequipped to be able to teach somebody how to have a quiet time and how somebody could seek after the Lord. I think if you've been a Christian for a long time, you know how you personally have done it. You just need the resources and the material to help you do this. And so what we want to do is to help you do that with a call to joy. So reach out to me if you're interested in that. But either way, why don't you pray today for God to make you equipped to disciple somebody else? I pray that's been a blessing to you, and I'll see you in the next video.